Life has an odd way of delivering wisdom. The more we attempt to manage every aspect, every reaction, every timeline, the more drained and disappointed we end up feeling. We design our future in fine detail, believing that more effort, more pushing, and less surrender will bring everything into alignment. But what if I said that the truth is the complete reverse? That when you quit struggling, quit clinging, and begin to allow things to unfold naturally, that's when everything starts to click. It's not about quitting, it's about grasping where your actual influence exists. The ancient Stoics knew this approach intimately. Marcus Aurelius spoke of welcoming what unfolds in its own way, instead of wasting effort resisting what is. He saw clearly that trying to oppose what we cannot command only brings distress. The true challenge is always internal, training the mind to zero in on what's moldable and releasing the rest. And that's exactly what we're exploring today, the internal shift that can completely reframe how you handle ambition, connections, and your own inner balance. Because if you're constantly agitated, wondering why your hard work doesn't translate into results, it might be because you're clutching too hard to what you never controlled to begin with. This isn't your typical personal growth message. This goes deeper. It's about developing genuine assurance, moving through life grounded and sure, not restless and fearful. And believe me, if you stick around until the end, you'll see your entire outlook on how to attain what you desire shift completely. Before we get into the heart of this, I have a small free ask. If you find value in this content, tap the subscribe button. It takes a moment, but helps us reach others who may need this message. Now, let's begin. We devote so much time obsessing over outcomes, waiting for that yes, hoping that relationship lasts, worrying whether our dedication will be rewarded. We tell ourselves, if we just give a little more, try a bit harder, we can bend life to our will. But what happens? The more we hold on to a certain expectation, the more tense and unhappy we get. The process loses its joy, and our sense of worth becomes tied to something we never truly owned. That's where the trap is set. The Stoics recognized this profoundly. Epictetus reminded us that our pain doesn't stem from events themselves, but from our insistence on how they should occur. He stated, "Don't wish for things to go your way. Wish for things to go as they do, and find peace in that." In other words, stop rooting your contentment in a fixed result. Instead, put your energy into the process, into what's within reach, your behavior, your efforts, your frame of mind, and release the rest. Consider an artist creating something meaningful. If they're stuck on every detail being perfect, if they worry non-stop about how others will judge the final work, they'll never enter that creative flow. But when they let go of the end result and just become fully present in the act of creating, a shift occurs. They tap into a deeper zone. The peace flows from them almost effortlessly. And ironically, that's when their best work emerges. This idea translates to every area of life: work, love, growth. When you remove the obsession with exact outcomes, you grant yourself the gift of being present. This is especially true with other people. You've probably seen it. Someone tries too hard to win another's approval. The energy feels forced, needy, almost repulsive. And the result? They drive people away. Instead, someone who is comfortable in their own skin, who isn't focused on winning anyone over, they draw others in naturally. Why? Because they're moving from trust, not fear. They know that whatever is meant to happen will happen. That is the essence of detachment. Now, let's talk about what success actually looks like. Many people assume that if they haven't reached a particular goal by a set age, they've failed. They treat life as a strict checklist. graduate by this date, earn a certain income, find a partner, hit specific milestones. And when things don't follow that timeline, they begin to question themselves. But here's the truth. Progress isn't linear. It comes with detours, delays, and unexpected openings. If you're too attached to a specific result, you might overlook something even better life is trying to send your way. Take a moment and ask yourself, what am I holding on to too tightly? What target or hope is creating pressure inside me? Now imagine what would change if you loosened your grip. Not abandoning the goal, but trusting that you'll be fine regardless of the outcome. That's the heart of detachment. It's not about giving up. It's about releasing the belief that peace depends on everything going your way. So how do you start practicing this mindset? First, remind yourself that final results are out of your hands. What you do control is your effort, your consistency, and your perspective. Second, shift your internal dialogue from "I need this to work" to "whatever unfolds will help me grow." And finally, root yourself in the present moment. The more you stay here, the less fear the future holds over you. Life is unpredictable. Some days, everything seems to click, and others feel like you're walking through resistance. The gap between people who struggle and those who rise above isn't luck, it's perspective. How you think shapes how you feel. And if you don't master your thoughts will control you. You won't always be able to change your environment, what the markets do, what others choose, what life throws your way. But how you handle those moments, that's where your strength lies. When you move from knee-jerk reactions to mindful responses, everything shifts. David Goggins, a former Navy SEAL and ultra-marathon runner known for pushing the limits of human endurance, often says that the mind is the battlefield, and most people lose the war in their own heads before they even start. That's the heart of Stoicism. You don't have to accept every thought as truth, and you're not required to let every difficult situation define who you are. The real power lies in choosing how you respond, especially when it hurts. Picture this. You're at work and things aren't going well. Mistakes keep piling up. Your boss is watching closely. You feel like a failure. One path is to think, "I'm bad at this. I'll never improve. Maybe I'm not cut out for this." That kind of thinking traps you in defeat. But what if you said, "I'm learning. These mistakes are shaping me. This pressure is making me stronger." That's a growth mindset, and it transforms setbacks into training. The Stoics believed that hardship is an invitation to build character, to sharpen virtues like discipline, endurance, and wisdom. Seneca once wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, just as physical effort strengthens the body." That means every obstacle, every delay, every disappointment is building your resilience. Think of it like weightlifting. If you never challenge yourself, you never develop strength. It's the same with your mindset. But let's be honest, rewiring the way you think isn't something you master in a day. It's a daily practice. Start with this. Pay attention to your inner voice. Are you feeding yourself doubt, fear, and negativity? Or are you practicing thoughts that lead to courage, clarity, and calm? Your mindset is like a garden. Whatever you plant grows. If you sow fear and scarcity, that's what takes root. But if you nurture strength, clarity, and presence, those are the qualities that begin to blossom. Another way to build mental discipline? Stay present. So much anxiety comes from reliving yesterday or fearing tomorrow, but the only place where you hold true influence is here and now. The next time stress creeps in, ask yourself, what action can I take right now that moves me forward? That one question can quiet panic and bring you back to what really matters. Patience is one of the toughest things to master, especially when you care deeply about your goals. You've put in the hours, followed the path, done everything right. And still, nothing seems to happen. It's frustrating. We're taught that success should be fast, that if things aren't clicking quickly, we must be doing something wrong. But real growth doesn't operate on our clock. Life follows its own timing, and trying to speed that up usually backfires. The Stoics knew this. Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly." Just let that sink in. Anything worth building, wisdom, mastery, achievement, takes time. You can't force a tree to grow faster by tugging on its branches, just like you can't rush your destiny before it's ready. Everything unfolds in its own season, and when you trust that, you free yourself from unnecessary pressure. Picture a young artist who dreams of being known. They put their heart into every piece, day after day, but no recognition comes. At that moment, they have two choices: give up, or trust that each creation is preparing them for what's ahead, even if it's not visible yet. The ones who stay consistent, who believe in the process, those are the people who one day find themselves exactly where they're supposed to be. We live in a world obsessed with instant results, quick meals, fast answers, immediate gratification. Our culture has conditioned us to expect things on demand, and if something takes too long, we start to question whether it's worth pursuing. But some of the most valuable things in life require time to mature. Relationships, personal evolution, mastering a craft. These can't be rushed. Socrates once said, "To do is to be." That means who you become through the process is far more important than just achieving an end point. If you're constantly obsessed with when something will happen, you miss the person you're becoming while you wait. And here's where it gets difficult. How do you remain patient when it feels like nothing's changing? The Stoics would encourage you to fix your attention on what's still in your control. You might not dictate the timing, but you always command your commitment. You can keep showing up, keep growing, keep evolving. And most importantly, you can believe that what's truly meant for you will never miss you. It won't come too early, and it won't arrive late. Among the deepest insights from Stoic philosophy is the art of acceptance. Marcus Aurelius advised us to welcome the path destiny has chosen for us, and to cherish those who cross our road through it. Instead of fighting against life's pace, learn to walk in step with it. If you're experiencing delays, if things feel slower than expected, it might be because you're still growing into the person who's ready to receive what you seek. Have you ever chased something so hard that it felt like the more you ran after it, the farther it got? Whether it was a career, a person, or a dream, the more urgent your energy, the more it all seemed to slip away. That's because desperation creates distance. The universe has a way of responding to your energy, and neediness often pushes opportunities further. But when you move through life with steady intention, with grounded calm, things tend to align without force. There's a massive difference between running after something and naturally attracting it. The Stoics were clear about this too. Epictetus advised, "Decide who you want to be, and then do what that person would do." In other words, let your actions flow from a clear identity, not from panic. Action driven by fear comes from insecurity, fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of being unworthy. But action grounded in purpose emerges from inner stability, from self-awareness, from courage. When you know who you are and stand firmly in that knowing, your behaviors shift. You make stronger choices. Let's look at this through an example. Imagine two job seekers. One is frantic, applying to anything that looks remotely promising, sending out resumes in bulk, taking every rejection personally. This person's energy is scattered, uncertain, even draining. The other candidate is composed, strategic. They understand their value. They tailor each application. They prepare without anxiety. They move with focus and balance. Who do you think leaves the strongest impression? The one who's calm, grounded, and clear. This same principle plays out in relationships too. When you seek connection out of fear of being alone or a need for approval, it rarely works. But when you enter a relationship from a place of fulfillment, not lack, you attract something healthier, more meaningful. People gravitate toward those who are already whole, not those desperate for completion. Aristotle spoke of eudaimonia, a state of flourishing, a life of purpose not based on external rewards, but on living in line with virtue. True happiness is found not in accumulating, but in aligning your actions with your core beliefs. Walk with integrity. Think with wisdom. Be intentional in what you do, and let go of needing the world to immediately validate you. When your behavior stems from purpose rather than panic, you make wiser decisions. You stop chasing shallow opportunities that don't fit your path. Think of a chess grandmaster. They don't move impulsively. They don't rush. They see the whole board. They play strategically, patiently. Every move is calculated, intentional. Life works like that too. When you operate from fear, your decisions become erratic, your results suffer. But when you act with poise, vision, and trust, you're able to build the life you actually desire. So how do you switch from panicked action to purposeful action? Start by defining your why. Ask yourself, am I doing this from inspiration or insecurity? Second, slow down. Desperate energy rushes with no direction, but purpose knows when to pause and when to act. Give yourself space to reflect before you move. And lastly, believe in yourself. Stop trying to force things into place. When you move with self-trust, doors begin to open naturally. Seneca once observed that most of our pain comes not from what is, but from what we imagine might happen. We project failure. We envision disaster. We live in the what-ifs. This breeds anxiety. But the reality is, you're more capable than you realize. You don't have to chase what's yours. It will come, not through struggle, but through alignment. When you operate with purpose and faith in yourself, life begins to flow in your direction. Have you ever felt totally worn out from trying to steer everything? You plan, you push, you organize, you anticipate every possibility, yet life still finds a way to surprise you, and not always in the way you hoped. It's draining, isn't it? You try to get people to behave a certain way, to bend circumstances to your will, to stay a step ahead of chaos, only to realize the more you tighten your grip, the less control you actually have. But here's the twist. As soon as you stop clutching so hard, life starts moving with you, not against you. The Stoics understood this profoundly. Epictetus taught that real freedom doesn't come from dominating the world around you. It comes from letting go of whatever is outside your reach. Think about that. Freedom isn't gained through control, it's found in surrender. The more energy you pour into managing things that don't belong to you, other people's judgments, the future, the past, the more you exhaust yourself. But when you shift your attention to what's actually within your domain, your choices, your effort, your mental state, you start to feel strong again. Take relationships, for instance. Have you ever tried to change someone? Maybe a partner, a friend, a family member. You wanted them to be more supportive, more present, more responsible. But no matter how much you talked, pleaded, or pushed, they stayed the same. That's because you can't control others. You can communicate honestly. You can create healthy boundaries. You can decide who you let into your life. but you can't rewrite someone else's behavior. And when you finally accept that, you free yourself from endless disappointment. You allow connections to grow authentically or to end peacefully. The same goes for your goals. Many people believe that relentless effort alone will guarantee success. They push harder, thinking that if they just try a little more, everything will fall into place. But there's a line between effort and obsession. Working towards something is good, but micromanaging every outcome, stressing over timing, and fearing failure creates friction. It gets in your way. Seneca wrote that destiny leads those who cooperate and drags along those who resist. In other words, when you fight the natural course of things, you create your own struggle. But when you trust the unfolding and stick to what's in your hands, life flows smoother. Imagine this. You're preparing for a big presentation. You've studied, practiced, covered every angle. You're ready. But instead of trusting your preparation, you start to overthink. What if I mess up? What if they don't like me? What if I forget something? Now your confidence turns into panic. You enter the room shaky, unsure, second-guessing everything. That urgency to control is actually hurting your performance. But if you took a breath, centered yourself and said, "I've done the work, I'll handle whatever comes," you'd show up grounded, focused, present. That simple shift in perspective can change everything. So how do you actually begin releasing this urge to control? First, acknowledge what's truly within your authority and what isn't. The Stoics spoke of the dichotomy of control, two categories, things you can shape and things you can't. Focus on the first. Let go of the second. Second, practice acceptance. Life won't always follow your script, and that's okay. Sometimes what feels like a detour is actually a better direction. Finally, build a foundation of trust, not just in the universe, but in yourself. Believe that whatever happens, you'll handle it. You'll grow through it, even if it's not what you expected. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to effortlessly attract opportunities, while others struggle constantly? It's not always because of luck or talent. It's often mindset. The way you think, the energy you bring into a room, the lens through which you view life, can either open doors or close them. The Stoics recognized this long before modern science confirmed it. Epictetus taught that wealth isn't measured by what you possess, but by how little you need. True abundance isn't about piling up money or achievements. It's about realizing that fulfillment comes from within, not from external chasing. When you drop the mentality of never enough and start seeing that you already have something to offer, you invite more of what you want to find you. Imagine two individuals walking into the same space. One is focused on lack. They're comparing themselves to everyone else. They feel behind in life. Their words carry insecurity, and their presence pushes opportunities away. The other walks in believing they have value. They speak with certainty. They engage without fear. They attract connections effortlessly. Same environment, completely different energy. One is moving from scarcity, the other from plenty. And this applies to more than money. It touches your relationships, your happiness, your peace. If you believe the world is empty of goodness, your mind will seek proof of that. If you believe love, time, and possibility are limited, you'll operate in defense mode. But if you shift that focus, if you start seeing chance in every encounter, possibility in every day, and value in what you already have, your entire world begins to transform. Psychologist William James once said that the most powerful discovery of his era was that a person could change their life by changing their attitude. If your mind constantly focuses on what you lack, your perception will only see deficiency. But if you train your mind to see what's present, to find strength, gratitude, and possibility, you'll start to shift your entire experience of life. This isn't wishful thinking, it's focus. Whatever you fixate on expands. Think of a musician trying to build a career with a mindset of limitation. They obsess over competition. They worry that the industry is oversaturated, that there's no space for them. Each setback feels like a sign that they're not enough. They start to hesitate, play small, miss chances out of fear. Now consider a different artist, one who believes in possibility. They view each rejection as redirection. They embrace challenges as lessons. They take bolder steps, connect more authentically, and eventually find their opening. Not because they had more luck, but because they operated from abundance, not doubt. So how do you start moving from lack to plenty in your own life? First, make gratitude a daily habit. Stop obsessing over what's missing and start recognizing what's already good. Second, act as if you're already enough. Walk with a belief that opportunities exist and you're worthy of them. And lastly, detach from outcomes. Trust that what's yours will find you without needing to force it. Have you ever found yourself in a loop, pushing harder and harder toward a goal, only to feel like you're going nowhere? You follow every strategy, do everything right, check every box, and still the results don't come fast enough. It's defeating. We're taught that relentless effort is the key to success, that if you never stop, you'll eventually break through. But here's a truth most people overlook. There's a difference between intentional action and frantic motion. And sometimes, real progress comes from knowing when to move and when to step aside. The Stoics understood this deeply. Seneca wrote that patience combined with effort outperforms force mixed with panic. We're surrounded by a culture that glorifies the hustle, that celebrates never slowing down. But lasting success isn't about how fast you move. It's about moving wisely, seeing clearly, and trusting the unfolding. The problem with pushing too hard is that it creates tension. It's like trying to untie a knot by yanking harder. The more force you apply, the more tangled it gets. Think of trying to fall asleep. You can't force it. The more you try, the more awake you feel. But when you relax, when you stop chasing, sleep comes naturally. The same principle applies to growth, success, and relationships. Yes, you must show up. You must do the work. But then you have to release control and trust the process. Consider a farmer. They prep the soil, they plant the seeds, they water the ground and make sure it gets sunlight. But after that, they wait. They don't dig up the seeds every day demanding growth. They trust that time will do its part. If they tried to rush it, they'd ruin what they planted. Life isn't different. You put in the work, but you have to let things bloom on their own timeline. This shows up in every aspect of life. Take love, for instance. Have you ever met someone who came on way too strong, constantly texting, needing reassurance, moving too fast? It felt smothering. That energy of desperation creates discomfort. It pushes people away. Now think of someone else, calm, grounded, open, but not needy. They show interest, but also give space. That energy draws others in. It creates safety, curiosity, attraction. This is the difference between force and flow. It's what happens when you take aligned action and then step back. You allow connection to grow instead of crushing it with expectation. Think of your career. Maybe you've been pushing hard, networking non-stop, sending out applications, chasing every lead, and nothing's happening. Now ask yourself, what if you trusted that your consistency was enough? What if you shifted your focus to mastering your craft? building meaningful connections and letting the right opportunities find you when the time is right. This doesn't mean giving up. This means stop choking the process with fear. Take measured, deliberate steps. Then trust the rest. Marcus Aurelius said in his Meditations, "Do what's required and let events unfold as they will." That is the heart of aligned action. You do your part. You control your effort, your consistency, your attitude, and then you let go of the outcome. Because the truth is this: no matter how much you plan, how hard you push, there will always be elements beyond your reach. And the more you resist that fact, the more drained you become. So, how do you live this way each day? Start by identifying your goal and taking the necessary steps. Show up, prepare, invest in yourself. Then release your grip on when and how things must happen. Acknowledge that you're not in control of the timeline. And lastly, believe in your own resilience. Even if things don't go as planned, you'll adapt, you'll learn, and you'll find new paths along the way. In the end, life isn't about commanding every outcome. It's about mastering yourself. Once you shift from chasing to aligning, from forcing to flowing, everything begins to move more naturally. The Stoics grasped this centuries ago, and now it's yours to put into practice. So breathe deep, trust the rhythm of life, and remember that your true power starts within. If this message spoke to you, then your journey is already unfolding. On the screen, you'll find another video that dives even deeper into the heart of Stoic philosophy, one that will challenge you to see life through a new lens. Don't stop here. Growth isn't a one-time lesson. It's a mindset, a daily decision to think clearly, act with intention, and live with virtue. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so. It takes just a moment, but it helps bring this message to others who are searching, just like you, for clarity, peace, and purpose in a chaotic world. Thank you for choosing to walk this path with Stoic Fortuna. This journey is not about perfection. It's about becoming just a little more aware, a little more grounded, a little more unshakable each day. Carry these truths with you. I release what I cannot control and act with calm focus. I do not chase. What is meant for me will arrive through aligned action. I remain steady, even when the world is not. I turn pain into strength and resistance into growth. I trust the timing of my life, and I trust myself to handle what comes. The wisdom you seek is already within you. I'll see you in the next one.